I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a rather long agenda tonight, so we'll try to move it along as rapidly as we can. Our first application tonight is DRB 2022-20. This is listed under our old business. The applicant was listed last month, was unable to attend, so they're here tonight. So it's DRB 2022-20 DK Builder at 401 East Lancaster Avenue for new siding, a deck, and a few other additions. So is the applicant here tonight?
Yes.
Hi there.
Mr. Chairman, if I could interrupt real quick, I do see that we have a raised hand from Mr. Carlson. I don't know if that's regarding a specific agenda item. Maybe we want to find out if that's a general question or a specific item.
Scott, I think you're here for the to help out on this application. Is that it?
Yeah, I was trying to say something before. Nobody was hearing, so I wasn't sure if everybody knew I was here. So
Okay.
threw the hand up when he said throw the hand up. So I figured I'd be seen eventually. But
Okay. All right. But Scott, you're not gonna make the presentation, correct?
no, Ferris is he's the expert. He's the one.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Bob.
Scott's affiliated with the American Legion Post, where this application is located. So, all right, great. All right, Faris, want to take over? Tell us what you have in mind.
What we're looking at here, you can see is the house has siding on it now. We're looking at replacing all the siding, putting in vertical siding on the gable ends as it's shown on the drawing.
But, sorry to interrupt again. Do you have plans to share, or Ian, can you put the plans up?
That's the problem. And
Yeah.
you're saying, I thought you guys have them all in front of you.
I have all the plans. Which application number are we referring to?
It's 2022-20.
401 East Lancaster.
Yes.
All right, one moment. I'll bring them up on my end.
Okay. Thanks, Ian.
I'm sorry about that. My camera is not, I can't show it.
I don't have them.
Okay, hopefully we'll see him in a minute.
I know where it is. I don't know why I can't find it.
So this is the American Legion Post on East Lancaster Avenue.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay.
If you go down through, you'll see it. There's the drawing of the deck. If you keep going, it'll go to the siding.
Okay, so you're going to replace all the siding, correct?
Yes, and any brick area, we're going to be covering up with wood and then siding it. We're doing new siding replacement, soffits, fascias, and gutters.
Just out of curiosity, why are you going to cover up the brick?
That's why we're covering it up.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to see it no more. So,
And that was what was voted on, Bob.
I'm sorry?
That was what was voted on by the mass, by the
Okay.
so the brick will be covered. It'll be all siding, pretty much like you. If you go on down on that drawing, this is basically showing you the deck, but you keep. There should be pictures as you go down. Now you see the pictures.
Mhm.
That's what we're looking at doing, putting siding on, putting vertical siding on the gable ends. Rest is siding all the way across, just like you see it as a drawing. Can't add much more to it, but
I'm curious. I believe you did the project just east of that, correct? Joining a couple of buildings together and making
Yeah.
one building.
yes,
Are you trying to mimic a little bit of that architecture that you just did on the renovation there?
that there was all done by Hardy Plank. This isn't, this is vinyl siding.
Okay.
So we're just updating everything to keep that street looking good.
we're trying to keep up, Bob.
Sure. Sure. No, you've done a great job inside. So,
The two neighbors are really keeping us on our toes. So
okay. All right.
It's
Some
gonna be-
comments from the board? Jane, Tim, What do you guys feel about this?
Is the color going to be similar to the other buildings next to it? The siding?
The color is going to be like a charcoal gray, and then you have a pewter gray on the gables. It's not the same color.
It's similar though. It's not an eyesore, correct, Ferris?
Correct,
Like,
correct.
not-
Right.
Yeah, it blends on in. It's not very staccato. That's not the word I'm looking for.
I have it
And
in.
the deck and the railings will be white.
Railings will be white
The
and
fence.
the deck will be gray.
And,
So
and- go ahead, Jane, I'm sorry.
So in other words, it's going to be a tones of gray on the building, the fascia and the siding. And then the deck will be gray too, and the fencing will be white.
Yes. I'll give you
Okay.
the correct name is granite gray is the siding. It's a Dutch lap. And the
Yeah.
vertical on the gable ends is a herringbone.
Oh, that'd be pretty.
So, and then your deck is gray as well, slate
Are
gray.
you going to be changing the sign?
On
The
the front,
I'm sorry, ma'am. Paris, that sign is a totally different issue that's being worked
Oh,
on
I
and moving
know.
forward shortly.
yeah, because I didn't know anything about the sign.
No,
I just was wondering. I know
I'm
it's a
sorry.
different issue.
yeah, the sign is going to be worked in place once the sidewalk is being redone.
Mhm.
Once they start doing everything along the front of Emerson and continue on down to our corner. So once that's done, it's going to be dug on in, and the sign is to come out anyway.
Okay, and Scott, we'll ask that the sign come in for a design review board. So,
Definitely.
okay. The deck, is it basically in the same position where the current deck is or current exit out to the outside?
Yes.
Looking at the building, it's a kind of the front right, you might say.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's out there is just an area that was dug out and stone was put down. And so
Right.
they put up a cover for the smokers. We're trying to get them from the front to the back, and I'm trying to get no smoking at all. But
Okay.
yeah, it's right there in the corner. The deck will bring it out a little bit, right where there's a bay window. That window will be doors leading to the deck.
Gotcha. Okay.
Over a little further than the smoking area.
Tim and Jane, what do you feel about them covering up the brick?
I don't know.
I think updated look. I think that's what they're looking for, and I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think the building's a little tired as it looks now. I think this will really give it some pop and freshen it up.
And-
Agree.
Yeah.
Now, what about the landscaping? Plants.
The landscaping is all taken care of through the lease with Emerson. So whatever we need, we can take care of that, and it'll be done.
Okay, and again,
We
maybe
really don't
Scott,
have any now. There really isn't
Oh.
much now.
You need to go down there like today. We have again the I think his name is Pedro from the crew next door. He keeps coming over and asking to put more in.
Oh, no, I know that, but you didn't in the past have much. So
Oh.
everybody,
Well,
for you
please.
to add more along the street.
Yes, please come down and look and give us suggestions too. I'm not a florist. I can't do all that, but
all right, any other questions or comments from the board tonight?
Not on this.
You're good? Jane, and you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, Scott, Harris, do you have any questions for us? Or the
No, sir.
township?
How soon can I apply for permits after
That's-
we get this approved?
All right, that's a question for Kevin.
What's that?
How soon can they apply for permits?
So you have to have the written letter in, as soon as Lisa can get, I would imagine, midweek next week, is when the letters would be coming out. You can apply for the permits, before then, but we wouldn't be able to issue until that letter comes out.
That's perfect. That's really all I need at the moment. But other than that, I have no further questions.
How about a couple last things? lighting for the outside deck? It's just gonna be low intensity?
In our contract, we have light posts for all the light posts on the deck. As far as lighting that have to come off the building,
Okay,
we haven't discussed that yet.
okay,
That'll be addressed.
Yes.
okay. And
Any
And-
change to the lighting would need to come back in front of this board.
I'll bring
Yeah,
that up.
any lighting on front of the building? Or you're talking beyond the deck?
Any new lighting on the site needs to come in front of this board.
Like deck posts?
Deck post lighting, well, since the chairman raised it, you can describe it, and if that's enough information for them, they can approve that. But yeah, now would be your chance to, provide them with those details.
Scott, I don't know what you guys had in mind besides a light like off the building. You're not gonna put any post lights, I mean, like dusk
No.
to dawn lights up or anything like that.
No, it wouldn't be anything more than the entrance lights. There's one already by the exit that's currently there. And if we're allowed to, if we can get authorized to put maybe 2 more outside lights where the new door is gonna go.
Correct. That'd be
And that-
2 outside lights and
Yeah.
then 1, all the post lights.
All the posts, correct. That's already
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, that's what we had proposed.
If anything, it would just be near that new door. I wasn't aware that new lighting had to be put on there as well. So if we can get it approved today, that would be great. If not, let me know. I will get my guys voting and doing all that good stuff.
is the board okay with that? To give them a little bit of a free hand, we'll say?
Well, are they considering doing what some people do on decks? They put those little low lights in under the railing or something?
These are
What
gonna be on
about-
top.
What about lights from the steps of the deck down?
There's lights on all the posts and we didn't have it figured on tread lights, but we could. If you guys would have, it's possible they would have maybe wanted it, but right now the lights are on the posts, which would shine onto the steps.
Okay. I was
And
just
they're low
thinking,
lights, so they're not bright lights. They're like
Right.
these LED small lights that just lights up the deck.
Okay, just a little worried about the neighbors behind in the condominium, looking down and seeing bright lights shining and all that, so.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
pretty small. You know what deck lights look like?
Sure. Mhm.
oh yeah, I know.
They're not real bright, but they're bright enough that you can see to walk and do what you got to do on the deck.
Okay. All right, Tim, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and Jane, you're okay?
I'm okay. I don't think they're going to overdo it,
Okay, and Kevin, you don't feel they need to come back then?
If the board is satisfied with what information you've been provided, then no, they would not.
Okay, I'm good with it then, so. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Any other questions then? We're in good shape? Eventually, Kevin, I guess you're gonna have to come for the outside dining permit?
Well, yes, if they're gonna do outside dining, that would be in front of this board, then ultimately that would be coordinated through the county health department.
Yes, and that's taken care of through the RVA. That's a separate entity within.
Okay, good. All right, so if there's no other questions or comments, could I ask Tim or Jane to make a motion for approval?
I'll take it. In the matter of DRB 2022-20, I move to approve the application.
Okay, do we hear a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
I'll call you later next week about the other stuff we talked about on the
Okay,
parade.
Scott. I'll
All right,
talk to you. See you, Scott. All right. Next on our agenda tonight is DRB 2022-28, the application of KGBMAI/Keenan Guggen at 302 West Lancaster Avenue for facade renovations. And a representative?
I'm here, Keenan.
Oh, good. Hey, how you doing there?
How are you?
Good, good. All right. I want you to let us know what you've done here.
So let me give you a little background. So I've been in that building for about 6 years as a tenant. Just bought the building. It's dilapidated, wood siding, squirrels, birds, you name it, are in that building. They've been in our space. So what we're trying to do is replace the wood siding with hardy board, just replace the trim with AZAC, and keep the integrity of the building almost exactly how it is. The only difference would be there's stucco on the middle of the building, and we want to replace, we want to just put stone veneer on top of the stucco.
Mhm.
So it'll be a gray, black, and a gray stone veneer.
Well, I can tell you, I go by that location multiple times and it looks about 1,000 times better. So
Thank you.
it really looks good. And that you can see the place is kind of falling apart and
Falling apart, yep.
yeah. And yeah, I think it's a vast improvement over what you had. It really looks good, I think.
One caveat I'll add to that is our sign Pathfinders is coming down permanently,
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
never going back up. The great frame up is staying there. We put it back up exact same spot. And then Pathfinders is moving upstairs. We are going to lease the downstairs and they'll have access to signage and they'll apply for it for permit that way.
Okay, great. All right. Questions for Keenan?
I just want to see if Ian's got the exhibits or any displays that we put up. It's 302 West Lancaster. There we go. Thanks, Ian.
So I know all the existing landscaping came out. Any idea what you're going to put in there?
So the existing landscape came out just because we had to put siding in.
Right.
We're just gonna redo it. We're not gonna, the bushes aren't gonna be as high, but there's gonna be low profile landscaping there in the same exact spot.
Mhm. Jane's our landscaping expert. I'm sure she's going to have a comment.
Jane, I'm open for any suggestion.
Well, I have a couple questions before that.
Sure.
I just drove by and I also took photos.
Mhm.
I also just took photos. I noticed you've already put the siding up. The new
So,
siding.
Let me
And I guess
explain.
I'm questioning how, if we're supposed to approve this, it's already up.
So let me,
I want to know why. I want to know how. It
I'll
may
explain-
look better.
I'll explain everything. This is
How
my
did you
first.
pull a permit?
So this is my first commercial building. We went to the township and my contractor submitted permits. They said, you do not need permits for this, but it needs to go through the designer. Actually, nothing happened after that. Then somebody drove by and said, you need to go to the design review board. So we were told by the township, and we have it on text, that we didn't need to pull permits. We needed to go to the design review board because we were just rewrapping the entire building and not changing anything.
Yeah, but other people come before us to change the color of their buildings. You just saw one,
When we went to apply for a permit, we were told we didn't have to before we did anything.
That is correct. They do not need permits. That is correct. It's cosmetic only, but they absolutely do need DRB approval.
well, they don't have it.
I apologize. I apologize for missing this protocol. This is the first time I've ever done this. Again, I've been in this building. It's been dilapidated. I've been a tenant. I'm trying to upgrade the building. I'll do whatever you guys suggest. I did not know the protocol behind this.
Well, somebody did. I mean, somebody at the township building must have. I mean, it's like, for me, I'm wondering like,
We were told we can continue with the project before we go to the design review board. We were told.
does that make any sense to you? That you could change the color of the building, put up whole new siding, take down signs, put up signs, and yet as long as I've been on this board, other applicants have to do it the other way around. So I'm kind of confused.
So
I'm
we have,
not saying what you're doing is a bad thing.
we
or
have a
looks
text.
bad, but
We have a
I'm
text
just
saying, are we allowed to continue with our renovations? And the text is, yes, you are.
So Jane, let me explain it. And I did send you an email on this to respond to yours a little bit before the meeting because I just saw it. When I became aware of the renovation, the code official had already been out there. The inquiry is, can they continue? Because I think that there was some concern about weather exposure. And in the case of any situation like this where work is started without all the approvals, and there's a concern about further damage, we allow them to continue at their own risk. And the risk is simply that should they continue and spend dollars and put stuff up and it's not approved, then they have to undo it and come into compliance with whatever is approved.
You put a stop work order on the people that painted their building orange.
Correct, because there was the information that was coming in. It wasn't because of the color orange. It was the interior renovations that we became aware of that they were going to do that was going to impact other businesses and not just, you know, something that's cosmetic.
Okay, so design review is basically doing cosmetic stuff along our commercial corridor. So therefore, what you just sort of said, Kevin, unless I'm misunderstanding you, you stopped a job not because they put a different color on their facade without approval. You stopped it because of interior renovations. Again, you're coming back, you're circling back to the fact that if people don't, property owners don't have to get approval for doing things, it's just nice if they do.
No, they're
Right.
required to. Whether they do it or not is a different story. When we become aware of something early in the process, we make every attempt to stop it and outline what the consequences are if they don't get approval for it. And that we can't force somebody to come in and get a permit. We can tell them what the requirements are. And if they, you know, depending if it's a life safety issue, we will put a stop work order on it. If it's not, then, you know, and it's something where there is aspects of the buildings that are exposed and subject to degradation of the environment, you know, we want to make sure that we protect the integrity of the building and proceed in that manner.
All right,
Okay.
interesting.
We get, and we've had a rash of exterior, interior work done without permits from contractors and businesses that know they need permits. We do our best to keep up with them and catch them. We're always open that a member of the public or any of our boards and commissions, if they see something, to bring it to our attention, and we'll take a look at it.
Oh, okay,
So ultimately here, they operated at their own peril. If we don't grant them, then they would be subject to having to take down what's been added and ultimately submit something that would be approved.
Right.
But here, I'm just looking back at the application. You did a good job of explaining the hardy board and the stone veneer, and I think that looks good. My question, just looking at the pictures, it's a little bit difficult to see exactly done at the windows. If you could just explain a little bit more about what you're doing around the windows. Is that painting or what are you doing at the window treatments?
So we're just wrapping the windows in AZAC. I actually had a home in Newtown Square and I did this. We had rotted wood and we're just wrapping it with AZAC so it's kind of weatherproof. Same exact look and feel. It's going to look like wood and we're just wrapping it with AZAC. That's it. And all the trim is going to be AZAC instead of wood. All the siding is going to be hardy board. So we're trying to make this have some staying power.
And the color of the AZAC that you're using, is that there's a last picture, which it doesn't look like it's actually this property. Looks like a different property that might have been.
The color of the AZAC is that color. Yeah.
Okay.
So sorry, that's the color of the siding, not the AZAC. The AZAC is going to be painted black.
Oh, okay, there we go.
So it'll be gray siding with black trim.
I'm good with that.
I have photos of it, Tim. I didn't send them to you because of the sunshine rules. But I took photos today. It's a light gray with black trim.
Okay, I think it'll look nice. I think it'll give it a look.
Keenan, how about lighting? You're going to change any lighting on the building?
So all the lighting staying the same.
Mhm.
We're just updating the fixtures to the same fixtures. And they're not the same fixtures, but they're all the same locations.
Okay. All right. Just an upgrade then.
Just an upgrade.
Okay. And your little black awning with the address number will stay also, correct?
That was coming off.
Oh, that's coming off.
That's coming off.
Are you thinking of putting a new awning there or?
It's just going to be stone and we're going to keep it exposed so light gets in there.
Okay, let's just make sure then that you have the address numbers listed somewhere on those buildings.
Absolutely.
in
Whatever
case
you
it's an
need,
emergency.
whatever you need.
Mr. Chairman, I heard something that was a little concerning because I don't know that I saw any specs on it. And this is an issue that we are running into a lot where businesses are swapping out light fixtures to upgrade them, make them more energy efficient. And next thing we know is that they're significantly brighter and causing more impact. If those specifications were not included in this packet, it would be my recommendation to have the applicant come back with specifics on the light. Because light glare is impacting a lot of properties, and whether it's an adjoining commercial or adjoining residential, that's something that should be reviewed at this level of the board.
Okay, Keenan, can we ask you to come back next month and pass a visit
Sure.
on that? Just
Sure.
bring some cuts to the lights.
No problem.
Okay, just try to get your application in for lighting approval to the township building by August 24th.
Okay. No
Our
problem.
meeting's on September 14th. Just try to get the plans on by August 24th.
Yep. No problem.
Okay?
Need to be a new application, or would we just keep this one open for that?
I would say let's just keep it open.
No, it's going to be a separate application.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So a separate application, Keenan?
So is there a way to get the siding approved via this application and what I'm doing now, and then the lighting separately?
Yeah, so that's why one of the other reasons why it would be a separate application, so it does not hold up the approval of what you have in front of the board.
Gotcha.
And then while we're at it, I would include whatever you're doing from the landscaping in the front of that as well, since it's a significant change from what's there.
Yep. No problem.
Okay, so you'll come back with the lighting, you'll come back with the landscaping.
Yep.
And
Fine.
is there any other questions or comments for Keenan from the board? Okay, hearing none, can we make a motion for approval of the facade renovations? Jane or Tim?
Yeah, I can take.
Okay,
Matter of 2022-28, I move for application of the, move for approval of the application.
For the
okay.
siding.
I'm sorry,
For only the siding.
for siding, yes,
Landscaping and lighting will come back.
yes. Okay, Jane, do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, why
Okay.
not? It's already up. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I think it looks terrific.
Thank you.
All right, Keenan, we'll see you next month.
Thank you, everybody.
Now you know,
Thank you.
Kevin. Now you know.
Now I know. Now I know. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Our next application, 2022-29, the application in Campus Corner withdrew their application, so we'll jump over them and move on to 2022-30, the application of aerial signs and awnings at 615 Conestoga Road for one wall sign.
Good evening.
Hi, Chris. Okay, why don't you tell us what you have in mind for this location?
I'll show you the existing, this is the existing storefront here. The old sign was actually removed. This is just a backer panel that's still up on there.
Mhm.
But the new,
Can you share your exhibits or?
oh, I'm sorry. I have it on my screen. I'm not sharing it. Okay, now. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the existing backer that the old sign was attached to. This would come down and get replaced with the actual sign. That would look like this.
Mhm.
And I have a proposed image. Look like. So this is just a 1-inch deep high density urethane sign foam attached to angle irons on the building, no lighting, painted with vinyl graphics.
Pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Okay. You guys good with that?
Well, I guess it's grandfathered in, but it looks kind of large, big. Looks kind of like it's landed on the building. But maybe it's because of the, you know, the way it looks.
I don't
like
think it was
photo.
rendered quite exact because of the existing sign or the existing backer is 27 inches.
Yeah.
So it's only a couple inches bigger than this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that you could see it looks kind of large, but it could be visually because of the photograph. You know what I mean?
Good.
Photographs flatten things.
No, that's the comment that I would have is the optics of this picture. It does seem to be quite higher. Do you know what the size of the sign next to it is? I know you can kind of see it in that same picture, but
Yeah.
I don't have measurements on that one. No, it's
I
behind the
don't have the measurements. I'm trying to pull up a photo because I do have a photo of it.
Chris, what was there prior? Was that a dry cleaner or was that a?
The cleaner's next door here. Here's
Okay.
one. That's
think
to
it's a
the
dis-
right
Might have been a design store.
and
I'm sure.
food market. I'm not sure what was there before.
Yeah.
Another photo from further away.
Well.
Fortunately, the truck was in the way, but this is, you can
Mhm.
see it next to the other one.
So he does meet this square footage requirement. He's allowed 34 square feet. And he's at 22 and a half on the
Yeah.
proposed sign.
Yeah, it's really just more of just the as long as, because it looks like all the signs there are kind of a consistent height.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that'd be my only consideration.
Right.
As
Yeah,
long-
we
as long-
actually landed on the height. The landlord came back and said, please make it 30 inches to be consistent with the other tenant.
If that's the case, then yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And that's one of the things I think we should, as a board, should drive for, to have signs look consistent
Mhm.
when doors are in the same building, sort of, you know.
Right. Right.
Virtually along the same. Like, and this one's gonna be white, like the other one is white too.
All right. You guys are good with it?
Yes,
Okay.
Yep.
Chris, the only thing I would say is how do you mount that sign onto those brackets? Or basically what I'm driving at, you can't see fasteners, so you can't just bolt it right through. So it'd have to be a blind application.
No, we would put cleats on the back.
Okay, all right, good. Good. All right, and just want to make sure too that your address number is on the building. You just double check with the tenant,
Okay.
all right?
and they know about window signs too, right? If they're planning on any.
As far as I know, they're not planning any additional sign.
Okay,
You can't really see they're there anyway.
okay. All right, any other questions for Chris? Comments? Chris, you're good with us?
Yep.
Okay. Jane, you want to take this one?
Okay. DRB 2022-30 for a new sign at 615 Conestoga Road. I move for approval.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is DRB 2022-31, the application of Profco at 797 East Lancaster Avenue for a ground sign and 2 wall signs.
Hi, good evening. My name is Charlie Shalio with Site Enhancement Services.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, thank you for having us before you this evening. Here tonight to talk about the 797 East Lancaster Ave location. I am directly working with Fidelity Investments, but I did come up with the signage that you'll see in the application, or I guess I should say in the presentation. I'm going to try to share, and I apologize. I'm actually, I had booked my trip ahead of time, so I'm actually sitting in a hotel room instead of in there with you guys today. So I apologize if this is a little choppy.
We're not there either.
Well, no, I would have been all alone, I understand. Can you see the screen and actually see the Fidelity, the package?
I have the package. Does other people?
Okay, then if you've got the package, then
Yeah. For the viewers at home, if we can get it on the screen, it would be helpful.
Well, and it may be because of his remote location, maybe if Ian could pull that up instead.
Yeah, I have the circle. It's just saying you're starting to share your screen. So if we can have
Yeah.
and it'll just get to the point. There we go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Charlie, want to walk us through what you have in mind there?
yeah, absolutely. So on the next page, you'll see that the building width, or I guess the building that we're talking about, it's obviously been in the center for several years, and we're looking to take, Fidelity Investments is looking to take a vast, or actually the entire first floor minus the main lobby area that leads to the second and third floor. We do have 118, or this building width is 118 feet 6 inches. So it's quite a bit of actual frontage, and you'll see in the next slide what we're proposing is a cabinet style sign. And the reason why we chose the cabinet style sign is obviously the building architecture is a little unique here. But what we're proposing to do is to put it on the only elevation area which is void of any significant architectural detail, and mount it on the underside, the front face of the underside of that roof structure. And what we've done is come up with a, as stated previously, an opaque cabinet style design with a routed push through acrylic letter and logo layout. The sign would be internally illuminated. Obviously, the only portions that would be illuminated would be the lettering and the logo itself. What we're here tonight to get approved is the overall structure, but then again, the Fidelity copy on the left-hand side. Again, this is a multi-tenant, multi-story building. We've worked out with property ownership and the landlord that we would only be taking this portion of the sign for the Fidelity, and that's all been agreed upon. On the next page, you'll see the actual configuration and construction of that sign itself. You will see that it does have that push through of a 1/2 inch, so it gives it some depth and gives it some profile. It's consistent with the other signage that's in the center. If you're familiar with that center, there's significant channel letter representation. And this is as close as we could get with a channel letter representation, just based on what we had to work with in regards to the building architecture and the elevation. On the next page, you'll see the side view of how we're looking to mount and construct the sign. Again, LED, so we're looking to, be obviously energy efficient. It is important to note from the bottom of that sign to grade, we would have 10 feet 9 inches. So it's obviously not going to be in the way of anybody, but at the same time, that mounting position will allow us to be above, say, an SUV or any other type of vehicle that's parked within those spaces directly in front of where the sign is proposed to be located. On the next page, you'll see the Fidelity representation on the top of the freestanding sign. Again, we're not looking to modify the architecture of the monument sign at all. We're just looking to have our tenant panel, keeping the black background, which is consistent with every other monument sign within this center. So again, no changes there, and leaving ample space for future tenants within that property. On the final page, you'll see a sign that we're looking to have near the entrance door into the building itself. This building's a little bit odd in regards to the fact that both of those doors enter into a common lobby area. Fidelity will have an entrance within the building, further set back within that common lobby. But this is just an identification piece so that patrons, as they're entering into the building area, they'll understand that Fidelity is located on the first floor, and then obviously the future tenants would have the opportunity to come back before you with their presentation. But we're looking to get the overall sign placement and configuration approved. That's really all I have. Fidelity is obviously a great tenant. The property ownership's been great to work with. We believe that this sign package will fit nicely within the center as already established, and is sensitive to the architecture that's of the building itself.
comments, Jane, Tim?
One comment, the first two signs are black and the door sign is green.
So the only reason why we have the splash of green here, so Fidelity Investments corporate colors are, it's the green with the white with the gold. The only reason why we didn't incorporate, obviously on the freestanding signs, we didn't incorporate it because every other sign panel out there is black background.
I know.
The sign on the building, we didn't want to do the green because we felt that that would be, I guess, visually complicated as other tenants came in on the other portion of that on the wall sign. So we wanted to keep a consistent background. The only reason why we're having the green here is it allows us to separate ourselves a little bit from the other tenant and have a little bit of our brand color on the facade.
Oh, that's fine. I just noticed it. I didn't know if it was just a, Photoshop error, but no.
No, it was
I like the
intended.
fact- I like the fact that keeping the colors, the larger signs, the black. I think that more and more we should look to keeping signs on the same building in the same color family, which is what you're doing with this. For the other signs in this shopping area, or whatever it is.
I think it looks good. I'm
Yeah,
very pleased. Yeah. Tim, you're good?
I'm good.
You're doing the best. I don't think that building was ever designed to have like sign in that location or for splitting it up like that. So I think you're doing the best that you can with that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mhm.
Obviously, it'd be nicer if there was an actual sign banner on.
I would love it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, architecturally it would look nicer, but and I guess I don't know if the tenant or the property owner has ever considered putting signage on the wall actually, and like the one corner. That's the only other spot you could possibly even do it, but
Yeah.
kind of on the left hand side. So I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it looks good. Charlie, is there anything else we should be aware of?
If I'm not just to make sure I have procedure correct, because I want to make sure that I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's procedurally. Once this board gets, or hopefully this board provides approval, the next step would just be permitting an installation, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. Then no, I have no other questions. Everybody's been great to work with. So.
Great. All right, thank you, Charlie. Can we make a motion for approval, please?
In the matter of DRB 2022-31, I move to approve the application.
Is there a
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Okay. Next tonight is DRB 2022-32, the application of Villanova University at 800 East Lancaster Avenue for renovations on a building. And there's a lot to go with that, so.
Oh, yeah.
Just quickly, I just was looking at the list here.
Yeah,
Doesn't
why don't
make
we do them all
put
together?
them together. I don't.
I'm sorry, Tim, can you come through?
Yeah,
again?
we have what, three more Villanova applications later on. I didn't know if it made sense to just kind of have them, especially with technology. I don't know if they're being presented by the same people or not. We could continue to have more of a continuous flow with them, or rather than disjointed. But if it's not, then that's fine.
I agree with Tim.
It's
So can I just, this is Mary Lou Smith. and-
Sure.
Yeah, Mary.
Hey, Bob. So I'm not sure which one's first, but there are two different architects that are presenting. One is presenting the Riley Hall sign and the Carriage House at Villanova, and Mary Holland is presenting who is a different architect, is presenting St. Rita's. So if the next one is St. Rita's, it's completely different from the other two. So it would make sense if it was all the same architect, but it isn't.
That's what I wanted to make sure of.
Okay,
If that's the case, then it does make sense to do them separately.
okay,
okay, great.
thank you.
All right, very good.
Efficient.
Okay. All right, so we'll take a look at this. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for hearing the project. I'm Mary Holling from Cicada Architecture Planning. I'm presenting this project for Villanova University, and I will share my screen.
Okay, so I guess you would just want to walk us through all the renovations that you have in mind on the building?
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I'll give you a little context first. The location of the building, it's right next to the cathedral. This drawing is a little bit confusing. It makes the cathedral look like it's not where it is. It's actually pulled back a little bit, but this building right here is St. Rita's Hall. So it's right across the bridge from all of the development on the other side of Lancaster Avenue. It's not really very visible when you're heading east on Lancaster. It's much more visible when you're heading west, so from across Austin Fields. This plan will show you a little bit more its true relationship to St. Thomas. So St. Thomas is here. It's set back quite a bit from the face of St. Thomas, but it's right next to it. So I want to start just by showing you the context of what St. Rita's looks like right now. St. Rita's hasn't had a significant upgrade in quite some time. I need to move something here that will let me. It really needs an upgrade, and as part of that upgrade, Villanova wants to make it both handicapped accessible and improve the egress from the building. So right now, on both ends of the building, there are fire escapes. And the plan is to remove those fire escapes and build stairs, building closed stairs instead. So this is, oh my goodness, it doesn't want to move. This is the, it moved when I didn't want it to. This is the view from the west. And that view, the building will remain largely the way that it looks right now, except the fire escape will be removed. And the windows that used to be where these doors will be replaced. There's a small link between the main building and the chapel, which you can see just on the corner of this photo, that will be replaced with another stair tower, and you can see the fire escape that's above that link. And again, that will be replaced with a stair tower. On the Lancaster Avenue side of the building, my goodness, the Lancaster Avenue side of the building is really not going to be changed very much. We're going to replace the windows. The new windows will have the same mountain configuration and the same size as the existing windows. They'll be black. We're going to do some minor repairs to the stonework. The roof is in great shape. It's a slate roof. We're going to keep that roof, do some minor repairs to it as well. And just remove all those window air conditioners, put in a central air for the building so that it's clean and nice again. So that's the intent. And let me explain. I'm going to go back to the previous sheet and explain what happens in plan. So here's St. Rita's Hall, and to the right is the chapel. So they're one building right now. We're going to remove the link between St. Rita's and the chapel, and this gray area is one new stairway that primarily serves as an egress stair. It's not an entrance. And this other gray area is another stair and an elevator. And the main entrance to the building will be from this plaza. So we're going to build a ramp from the sidewalk that will bring us up to the first floor level so that we can enter a grade and provide an accessible entrance to the building. The building also has no elevator, so we're putting an elevator in this addition as well. So let me just share what all of that will look like. First, though, let me talk about landscape. Being very buggy. We're going to leave the landscaping on the south side of on the Lancaster Avenue side of the building unchanged. The construction access will all be from the campus side of the building, so we're not going to be creating a lot of disturbance on the Lancaster Avenue side. But what that means is that we then need to replace landscaping on the north side. And also, we want to add landscaping to soften the pavement, the space between the ramp and the terrace. and just to soften the edges of the building. So we're putting some new landscaping on the north side, a couple of new dogwood trees. This building is very close to Alumni Hall on the other side, so we don't want to put in trees that are going to grow too large in that constrained space. So dogwood trees. Any questions on the landscaping? Do you want me to go into any more detail?
I've looked at the plant list and I think it's really good. Ian is still there, the head man in charge of all the landscaping for the university. Ian?
Mary Lou, can you answer that?
Excuse me? What?
Who's in-
Villanova has been improving its landscape for the past decade with and choosing really good plants. And I think that the man in charge, first name is Ian.
No, it's actually Jared and Hugh. And yes, I would say probably for the last 20 to 25 years, we've been trying to improve the landscape on campus. So when we hire a landscape architect, we try to stick with the plants that we are successful with. And I think that they had a great deal of input along with Mary and her landscape architect in this project.
Indeed, yes, thank you.
Do you have any other questions about that?
I think the dogwoods will look really nice around commencement.
Yeah.
Jane,
So
you're-
here are the proposed exterior elevations. The Lancaster Avenue side is the top elevation. I don't know if you noticed on the plan that the stair that's being added between the main building and the chapel is held back from the facade so that it recedes. The elevation makes it look two-dimensional, but it really recedes from the face of the building to minimize the impact on the Lancaster Avenue side. On the north side, the side of the building, that is this stair here, and it pulls out on the north side. All of the stairs will be clad in limestone in a color that matches the light mortar color on the building. And the elevator shaft, which is this gray shaft right here, will be clad in rubble stone masonry. We can't match the stone on the building. They don't mine that stone anymore. This rubble stone will be more similar to the new buildings across the street. So it'll be slightly lighter than the rubble stone on the existing building, but will only be visible from the campus side. The ramp up to the terrace and the seating wall around the edge of the terrace will be the same limestone. We'll patch and repair the woodwork around the top of the building. And when we do that, we'll paint it the same color that it is right now. So we're not changing the colors on the outside of the building, except the existing windows are dark bronze. We propose to change them to black. So then if you look at the ends of the building, as I described, on the west end, the fire escape is gone, the windows are restored, the stone is cleaned up. We'll salvage stone from the work that we're doing at the stairs to rebuild the wall where these windows are so that it does match the stone exactly. And then at the east end, you can see how the stair is really held back from the face of the building by quite a bit. And that then is clad in the same limestone. So that what this building will look like from the campus side, because the impact is minor from the Lancaster Avenue side, this is what the building will look like from the campus side. So the limestone, the stone, the rubble stone, we're trying really hard to be sympathetic to the existing building while we put on these additions. Any questions so far? I'll talk about lighting next.
Good so far.
Good. Thank you. So right now, this lighting standard here is an existing lighting standard that will remain. The only lighting we're proposing to put on the outside of this building are really 4 fixtures in 4 locations. So we're planning to put downlights underneath the canopy at the main entrance here. We're planning to put a decorative fixture on the face of the wall here that matches the fixtures, the lantern tops on the existing pedestrian fixtures. We're planning to put a small light at this exit door in order to light the area outside the exit door at night. And then and I'll show you cuts of all of these. And then on the on the Lancaster Avenue side in this porch. There's an existing fixture on the ceiling of this porch, but it's really utilitarian. It's not lovely. We're planning to replace it with a more decorative fixture. So these fixtures look like, all of the fixtures are dark sky compliant. These fixtures look like, this is the lighting plan. So it's just pointing to the areas that I just pointed out. This is the fixture that goes on the face of the building, and we'll have a bracket arm painted black like all the other fixtures of that type on campus. This is the fixture outside that other stair door. So it's relatively small. It's only 16 inches by 7 1/4, relatively small, just enough light outside that door for egress. The fixture underneath the canopy is just a small 4-inch aperture LED light. There are 2 of them. And then the fixture at the porch on the other side is this decorative fixture here. It's very similar to fixtures that were used in the new dorms across the street at similar locations.
I think
Jim, did you have a question?
they're all down lights.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I think you had said one was an uplight, but I thought all of these were down lights. Is that correct? Or
Did I say uplight? And
I think-
I misspoke. If so, they're all downlights.
that's what I wanted to check.
Yeah.
I have no issue.
Okay, good.
I go there.
Okay, so we've covered landscaping, lighting. What else?
I'm sorry.
What else? Anything else for us tonight?
That's it. We're not changing any signage on the building.
Okay. And that looks like that'll do it. Any comments from the board? Questions, comments?
No, thank you. I think it'll look very nice.
I
Yeah,
think look great.
yeah, good,
I think
great work.
Villanova just keeps going from good to better.
That's great.
You did a good job, tricky project there, marrying the new and the old, because that is an old building. So you did a-
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you saying that.
Great. Okay, cool, yeah.
Haven't opened up a new quarry yet? You haven't found that'll mine all the stone that's that consistent with everything at this point?
We use many different quarries. Everyone thinks it's the same quarry.
Well, you're keeping them busy.
Okay. Jane or Tim, like to make a motion for approval?
Oh, I can do it. I just, there's a Villanovan in the room. All right. For DRB 2022-32 for St. Rita's renovations at Villanova University, I move for approval.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great work. All right, next is DRB 2022-33, the application of Wheelhouse at 106 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for wall signage and window signage. Okay, we have Wheelhouse. Wheelhouse. Okay. All right, why don't we jump over Wheelhouse and maybe they'll show up a little later. All right, we'll go over to DRB 2022-34, the application of John Weckerley at Win Signature, 110 North Wayne Avenue in Wayne for modifications of awning and signage.
Bob, I had a hand raised from for when you were calling out for the last application from Charles Cape.
Oh, okay. You're representing Wheelhouse, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is
so
Charles.
We'll jump back to Wheelhouse then. I'm sorry.
Here, one
Sorry.
moment and I'll promote him to a panelist and he can rejoin the meeting. 1 second. He'll be right
Okay.
back.
2024.
Hi, guys. Sorry. Our designer was having technical difficulties, so I'm going to chime in.
Okay. So you're Charles?
Cappy. I'm one of the co-owners of Wheelhouse Cards.
Great. Nice to have you here tonight.
Thank you for having me, guys. Sorry
Okay.
for the delay.
So you're moving to a bigger and better location, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going from about 600 square foot to 3,600 square foot. So
That's
it's
great.
about a 5X. So we're extremely happy, and it's been a great year. We're looking to expand and be more of an outlet for the kids in the area and the families. We're all about cards and community.
That's great. Good. I was in your other store. You got a nice little store there, but yeah, that's going to be neat. Yeah. Okay, Charles, want to walk us through and tell us what you have in mind on this building?
So we're basically trying to mirror the previous signage that we currently have. We obviously have larger windows. We're under we use basically the same parameters for the previous signs. So with the larger windows, we were able to go a little larger with the signage under that threshold that you guys gave us. We're also going to add the signage above the wheelhouse. That's going to be in aluminum letters, similar color to our current building.
Okay, but it'll be a new sign. You're not taking those letters down and applying them to this building?
No, this is completely new signage, brand new. Just basically going to mirror what we had before.
Okay, I think everybody's probably familiar with this site. It was formerly years ago, it was Harrison's department store. It was the Lucky Duck for a long time. So right in the heart of Wayne. So it should be a good addition for the town. There we go. So
there we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice, clean application. What do you guys feel? What's your thoughts on it?
I want to confirm that the white signs with the blue stripes at the top, those are in the windows. That's what you're proposing there, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
We just need to make sure they're not exceeding 20% of your available window space.
Yeah, so we're actually right under that. If you look to the right, there's actually another bump out window that's included in it. But we're I think about 18%.
Excluding that other window or including?
No, excluding that. So that's an addition.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully, if we decide later down the road that we want to do something with that, we'll come back to the board.
Okay. The building as it is now, where you're putting your vinyl application, I believe there's mullions in those windows. They just pop out.
Say that one more time.
It's like grids or mullions.
Yeah, they just pop right off.
They're not popping right out. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So it's not like it's going to be wavy or anything like that. It'll be a nice, smooth signage right across.
Okay. All right. And naturally, the letters are lit or they're not lit?
No, they're not lit. They have lighting that's already currently there. We're not touching that. The landlord handles that.
I believe there's gooseneck lighting there in that location. Yep. Okay. All right. What do you guys feel? How do you like to look? Jane?
How to say this? It's very neat. It's very clean. It fulfills what we asked for, but not here and not now, and not tonight. Again, though, it's like every sign that goes up along the whole block there is almost always different colors. And I wish all of the signs, we had some defining something or other where we say you have to use these sort of colors and the signs sort of have to look sort of alike. But that's not how it is right now.
Right. All right.
This is rather, it gets that message out.
Yeah.
It's not very attractive, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a nice, clean application. I think the audience that you're going after certainly, they recognize that store, and I think it'll do quite well there. So, yeah, it's a hot market right now. So, yeah, Tim, what do you feel?
And the wheelhouse, the sign is the lettering up top. That's not lit, right? I might have missed that.
No, it's not. No, I don't know why the white is there. It may just be.
Oh.
Yeah, the white, it's not even supposed to be white around the wheelhouse. It's going to be a flat blue. There's not, I don't know why it's showing that on the rendition, but that's actually not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be just blue.
Which I think probably will help it look better. That's what I was looking at.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it, for whatever reason, I apologize. It kind of looks cartoony on the top, and it's not going to be that way. The white is not going to be there, and it's not going to be backlit or anything like that. It's a straight blue, clean looking sign.
The only suggestion that I would have to this is to the window signage itself, by having the white backing in the signs itself there. Have you had any consideration of making that transparent, and just having the blue lettering, or is that something you're set on having that white back?
I can talk to my partners and our graphic designer on the signs, but they were similarly to our current building, which we have a white backing on the signage.
Right. Yeah. And I think right there, they had some type of lattice work in the window, right?
Yeah, that would be removed.
Okay.
So it wouldn't have like a wave effect to it. Like I said, it would be straight across.
I think if you had that as being transparent, I think it would actually, it would fit in better to match kind of the aesthetics of that row there. And I think with that, I think it would actually fit really nicely in there. Just kind of having the white backing, I think, is probably, it kind of blocks some of the, I guess, the warmth that comes from being able to see into the building there. But
right.
Yeah, if you'll consider that, I mean, I think making this I'll agree to making it approval based upon what you have here, but also contingent upon, or you can also have with the transparent black backing as well without coming back to us.
Yeah, that area on the ceiling is actually not visible. So there's really kind of, it already is just as dark, because it has the lattice on there. It's really for the visibility up there. It's kind of dead space.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we added the white, because we wanted to mirror what we currently had. We didn't want to, do too many changes to the current signage that we already had approved. So that's kind of why we stuck with this design. We tried to make it transparent to the other that we had.
Well, I kind of agree with Tim that I think you might, if you can consider getting rid of the white, I think it might have a better look along the sidewalk and with the other buildings. And if you have a dark background, which you sort of saying you are from the ceilings of the interior space, I think it will pop a light blue letters anyway.
Yeah, I can, like I said, I would have to go back and
it would be worth asking.
talk about that. Yep.
And you have white letters on the door.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which you can obviously, well, no, this is just a picture, but you can see that is very visible on this Photoshop thing.
Yeah, the only difficult part though is that with the blue letters, it is difficult to see. So again, with the white, it's not that it's a necessity, it's more that it helps the verbiage, because the verbiage is kind of important to what we do, based on, the apparel, the consignment, the verbiage that we currently have up. So with the white in the background, it more or less helps it to be visible, rather than, because if it was transparent, you basically wouldn't see it on the window.
Well, I don't know that.
I guess most of the guys that come in for window applications, they usually use white in the windows.
Yeah.
I don't remember too many stores coming in using a colored vinyl application. Most go white. So, but other than that, are you guys good with everything?
I think, let me just throw this out there as well. Instead of it just being a hard white, even if it was more of an opaque white, I think that would actually be something that would look better too.
Say that one more time.
Because then you still get the white, but it's not as maybe as stark of a white, and you get kind of the glow from the inside would actually light up the sign.
Yeah, instead of being a solid white, I think what Tim is saying, if you did, and what he's using the word opaque, I think in the sign business, they also use translucent. And so it would be a white background, but there would be light coming through it. It wouldn't be so solid. Anyway, I agree with Tim.
Okay. Well, Tim, why don't you make a motion? And Charles, do you have any other questions for the board or comments?
I don't.
Okay. So Tim, if I could ask you to make a motion on
Sure.
that.
Yeah. DRB 2022-33, move to approve the application as it is, and also with the possibility of changing the window signage to modify the white back to either make it a transparent backing or a translucent backing or opaque backing, whichever verbiage works with whatever the sign maker would be.
Okay, great. Jane, do we hear a second?
I second that. I
Okay.
think it's worth looking into. I really do.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right, thanks a lot. Good luck with
Thank you.
the new business.
Thank you.
Yep.
You bet.
Business the same location, or you're consolidating into this space?
So we're moving to this space. This will be a standalone new location. We're just moving into it from our last. Are we able to have it as is if that's a possibility or no?
Yeah, that's what we've given.
We
If
agree.
you're set on keeping it that way, you got the approval, but I think it actually, the translucent might actually be the best bet, but that's something for you to consider.
Right. Okay. So technically as is, it's approved. I appreciate that clarification.
Great. All right, thanks, Charles. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. You guys have a great night.
All righty. All right, so now we're on to DRB 2022-34, the application of John Weckerley at 110 North Wayne Avenue for some modifications to the awning and the front door.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us again.
You bet.
Pearl is here with us, the owner and restaurant operator. So as needed, she can chime in.
Hi, everyone.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm going to share my screen.
Getting a little closer to opening up there?
Yep, we're waiting for it.
Okay, good. I think the town is also.
So previously, just to summarize, as you guys know, we presented the facade improvements to include the new windows, removal of the old box sign, new lighting, new fabric on the awnings, and the new metal awning over the main entrance. Today, we are presenting today to discuss the front door, which we realized in hindsight that we did not discuss with you guys previously. So, I'm gonna, if it's okay, I'm gonna start with that. And if we look here, everybody can see my screen okay?
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
So here we can see an image of the existing door. It's a solid wood door, really handsome door in the sense of its construction, in that it's a solid wood with a 3-inch or so thickness. Our proposal here today is to retain the door, repair it, remove, you can see, I think we have in the application to remove the rivets, if you will, that are kind of decorative to the front, just to kind of simplify and clean it up, and then remove the scrolling that's on the back side of the glass, that's you can see in that image, and then ultimately end with what we see in this rendered elevation here, where it would be painted blue with new decorative hardware to match the logo of the branding logo for Blue Elephant, which is obviously the elephant. So as you can see in this image on the lower left, Pearl has found these brass elephant sculpture, door handle sculptures that we're hoping to propose for the front door pulls. Deadbolt lock would be above that with push access on the inside. And as you mentioned, at the beginning, the original design, when we presented the original metal awning to you guys, this is the color that we proposed for the metal awning. And in looking at it with Pearl and discussing the kind of overall facade with the black windows and the proposed image that you see here for the door, we're asking to modify that paint color to the RAL 5003 that you see on the left here on the screen, which is just a bit more of a navy blue as opposed to a violet from the original one. We, really love the kind of representation of that here in the rendering. And then one last thing that I was hoping to just communicate before, if there were any questions, is that in the metal awning vendor, we did not present at last go round for the metal awning that the engineer on the metal awning fabricator side is asking to introduce a tie rod just from the interior side of the awning back and up to the wall to just provide additional support. Previously, we had communicated that support would happen on either side of the awning. They feel that to just maintain the front of that from being top heavy, they want to add this 1/2-inch thread rod to the top. And we did draw that in the awning here, in the rendering here, from the grade, keeping in mind that this is from across the street. It's really kind of inconsequential in terms of the aesthetic of it. This line represents where that tie rod would come into play. So the painting of the door, the pulls, and that tie rod are up for your review. I'm open to questions if you have any.
Any questions? Jane?
It's still the best awning and the best sign we've seen.
Still appreciate hearing that.
I have nothing. I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking very much forward to it.
Great. We'll
Okay,
see you
great.
guys in the fall. I'm sure Pearl's looking forward to having you in.
Cannot wait.
All right, great. Jane, would you like to make a motion for approval?
Yes. For DRB 2022-34 for 110 North Wayne Avenue for the Blue Elephant, changing the color of the awning and the front door, adding the gorgeous elephant handles. I move for approval.
Here a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
I like it.
everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
I
evening.
like elephants.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we got 3 more to go, and it looks like they're all Villanova here. So the first one's going to be DRB 2022-35, the application of Villanova University at 601 County Line Road for some repair work.
Oh, yeah. The small carriage house, right?
This is the conference center, I guess.
Yeah. This is.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Blackney with Blackney Hayes Architects. I'm here representing Villanova University this evening. With me from Blackney Hayes is Tyler Cooney, who is the project architect, and Villanova representatives are also online, Chris and Kodlowski and Mary Lou Smith. So we're very glad to be here this evening. Tyler, can you pull up our presentation, please?
Can everyone see? Hope I shared the right screen. 3 images.
Tyler, can you go and zoom into the image of the site in the lower left-hand corner, please?
Sure.
So just to orient everyone, what the building that we were talking about, the building that we were talking about is called the Carriage House. It is located on the property that is where the Inn of Villanova and the conference center is currently located, right along County Line Avenue. I'm sure we've all driven into this location, and when you drive in, you see the stone building, small stone building on the left, And that building, we are working with Villanova to update that building so that basketball team can use it as a lounge space. So we just want to talk to you about the exterior facade improvements that are required this evening. So can you show the different images, existing photographs, please, Tyler? So what we've shown here are three photographs. The one in the upper left-hand corner shows you the existing conditions, and you can see that the existing building is made out of beautifully arched stone openings and some windows, and as well as a door on the right-hand side here that is the rest of the building is beautiful stone, and the roof is slate. And our focus here is to renovate the building and update it in a way that we restore the stone through pointing, we restore the slate roof, and we add new windows, and we'll show you those. The image on the right-hand side, Tyler will slide it over, is there's a bit of a porch that exists, and that's going to be restored as a porch as well. And we'll show you an image of that. And just bringing it down to the bottom, please, Tyler. And this is the image that you see from County Line Road. And the reason for this is we have a small dormer that we have to put in that area where Tyler is showing you, and we will show you an elevation for that. So we can show you the image of the renovation. If you can go to the next sheet, please, Tyler. Since this is an older building, in order to address some life safety issues, we need to raise the roofs a little bit on the second floor. And if you could just focus in on that rendering, please, Tyler. What you can see is the fact that we are restoring, we're not restoring the doors, we're putting in brand new doors that are all being made to match the arch of the existing stone. The windows that exist in the upper left are all being brand new windows to match the architectural style of the time, and as well as the fact we're maintaining the door that exists on the upper right. I mean, it's not going to be a door, but that's going to be the architectural style. The stone, as I said, is being repointed. The slate is being restored, new painting and so on. The reason we're here is in the upper right-hand corner, if you can point it out, Tyler, above the carrot, is we have to add a dormer in that area. And the purpose, again, is for life safety, to make sure we have enough ceiling height in that portion of the second floor that's going to be used. And so we try to make it kind of innocuous in the sense that we didn't want to make it very grand. But we do have to raise the roof in that area, and that will be made out of hardy board. I believe we have a gray hardy board. The roof of the dormer will not really be seen very much because it's going to be a pretty flat roof, and I think that this rendering represents that. But that'll be made out of a gray asphalt shingle. So that's the change that you'll notice on this side. And if Tyler, you can go down to the elevation, we can talk about the change that we represent on the facade that is on the Lancaster Avenue side. Right. So in order to get a stair, a new required stair, egress stair that meets current codes, there's not enough height in the existing roof to make that occur. So we have to add a dormer, that larger dormer that's in the middle of the two existing dormers. You can see because that's very visible. We're trying to make that match the architectural style of the existing dormers. Again, this facade is going to be renovated the same way as the building will be entirely renovated. So those are the changes that are going to occur on the facade for the facade renovation. We are still working with Villanova landscape design folks to develop the final landscape design. But as you know, that the landscape at the inn is of a very good quality, and it's going to continue to do that. And the lighting is going to match the current lighting that exists, the pole lights that exist at the inn. We have a lot of existing features at the inn that we are really just going to be replicating on any site issues, which are mainly at doors and things of that nature. And that explains the presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, guys, what do you think? Jane, Tim?
It's all fine. In the drawing we have, it looks like they have an outdoor food service or bar in what I would have been called, you called it the porch?
That's
But
an
in this
existing,
drawing, you don't have that.
no, not in this drawing right now.
Okay, so that
It's
was
still
changed.
being finalized, so still being
Oh.
designed. Yeah.
Well, it seemed to be, to me, I thought, well, that was an interesting idea. If you're ever going to have a outside social use for this piazza, would be oh, I don't know what you call it. When you pulled your carriage up, when you pulled your carriage up and got out of it for your horses. I don't know what that formal term for that is. I never have done that, but anyway.
Where's the basketball hoop going?
So
Yeah.
there will be, you know, a barbecue or something like that so that they can entertain outside. We didn't think that, you know, that was necessary on this because it was really the structure that changed.
No, I imagine the back.
That was outdoor furniture.
I imagine there will be a basketball hoop at this place at some point in time, if that's where the basketball players are lounging. But no, I think it looks nice. I think, again, you're doing with what you can with an old building and trying to bring it into a modern time. Although the Nova team is never known to be the most tall, to need to have more height upstairs. But I think
You don't know how many times I've heard that joke, just so you know.
I think. But you know, there's 6'6" guards now, so.
So do you plan on coming back then, or we'll ask you to come back with your landscaping plan?
We can do that, yes.
Okay. All right. Any signage?
Bob, is that necessary to come back for the landscaping plan?
Well, we'll check with Kevin on that.
Okay.
Yes, it's yes. Landscape plans, lighting plans, signs, exterior renovations.
Okay.
No sign changes, no.
No signage. Okay.
No.
All right.
And the lighting's on this one, so it's only the landscaping.
Right.
Got it.
You want to run that lighting by us if you're ready now, or you can bring it back with your landscaping plan?
Do we have some images of the lighting, Tyler?
Yeah. I also, okay, so yeah, let me show you the lighting locations. It's basically, you know, the existing condition is that there's not a lot of lighting. So we're putting some small non-invasive LED lights every, 2 or 3 per facade, per wall length. And then at the main location, we have an old style lantern that kind of denotes that this is where you enter the building after you park. And that's right here. It's on the, it's tucked away. It's not visible from County Line Road. It's on the south side of the building.
I guess the idea is not to draw attention to the building, but you need it certainly for security, I'm sure.
That's true.
Okay.
So my other question is, it's small, but the drawings that we got have the outdoor kitchen in them. But are we approving the drawings that were submitted for this application, or we are approving these drawings that are on the screen that don't have the outdoor kitchen? Or is that
the plans
something
that
we
were
worry- is that something we worry about? I don't know.
I don't
plans that we submitted on.
Tyler, let Kevin talk.
Sorry, go ahead.
This is Tim, sorry. I just thought, I don't see that the outside kitchen is considered actually part of the facade at this point, if it is just a bar that's being underneath the roof.
Yeah, but I mean, they differ. It's just a technicality. Tim.
Yeah.
It's just like are
Jane,
we
yeah, and I
approving these
can
ones for those?
kind of expand upon that. You would, for outdoor dining, approve furnishings and all the accessory equipment with that. If that's something that you want to see, in terms of approval, you could recommend in your motion, if you were to recommend approval of the facade renovation,
Mhm.
that they bring back that as well as the landscaping, since they're going to be coming back for the landscaping, and provide a little bit more detail. I heard a couple times that they maybe are revisiting exactly how that outdoor entertainment area is going to be. So that's something that you could include in your motion if you felt was appropriate.
Well, if,
Kevin, remember we had to look at the Great American Pub's outdoor dining more than.
Oh, outdoor dining absolutely is part of DRB's approval. We mentioned that in one of the earlier applications. So again, if that's something that you want to see in more specificity, that the approval would be conditioned upon them, bringing that back.
Well,
Yeah,
along
this-
with the landscaping.
so,
So we're not approving this, we're not approving the drawings we have on paper.
so
Because that's
Jane,
showing it.
Jane,
Yeah.
that is what is gonna be on those drawings. So what they show on those drawings, which was a rendering that they issued in that part of that package, that is what we're submitting.
Okay.
If we need to go into detail about what's gonna be out there, it's lounge seating, as you can see on that drawing. And I think there's, a barbecue or something like that, for the outdoor to serve,
Yeah,
whoever
it
the
looks like an
student
outdoor
traffic are gonna
kitchen.
be there.
I see like a refrigerator or whatever in the drawing, I'm just saying, and a hood. Vent
Yeah.
hood, like I said. I mean, maybe it was just dropped in there, but that to me is an outdoor kitchen.
I think-
I just want to.
What is it, you guys, can you talk toward it?
You mean me, Mary Lou?
You or Tyler?
Yeah, I can talk to the idea is that there would be an outdoor bar type area there where food could be served. I think the question is, we came in tonight for a facade renovation review and didn't feel that the outdoor kitchen was part of that facade renovation, which is why we focused on the dormers. We do have the lighting and we do have the landscaping in the submission as well. But the reason we revised the presentation to not show the outdoor bar with area is that it was a facade renovation, but we could talk about it in detail if you wanted us to.
Kevin, let me pause you. Kevin, do you have the picture available to pull up? Tyler, do you have the picture of? If you don't, we can pull up the packet that was submitted to us, and we can have him show that picture. That's easy, just so that we can all know what the image that Jane is talking about.
I can show you the image that was submitted on July 22nd. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a moment.
I mean, I'm fine with just approving the facade and they can come back for the rest of it. I mean, I'm
I
good with
think
that.
Thing is that the package that was submitted is what they're seeking approval of, and if
Yeah,
that's,
and it's in that package.
then let's all just have the same picture, so we're all looking at the same thing.
Got it, Tim. Shows up on A1.
I just need another minute. Everyone see?
Yeah, perfect.
So what this shows is, as I mentioned, is the outdoor bar. The idea is there'd be a pizza oven in the corner, and they would be able to primarily have food that is served in the inn and brought to this location that could be served to people that would be sitting outside. And that's, if you can go in, zoom in a little bit, Tyler. And that's what you see in this image, is you see a bar with a countertop. There are some refrigerators and things on the outside. You are correct about that, but there are no real grills or anything like that. We We are showing a hood, but I think the grills that will be part of are being taken away. So it's a pretty simple bar with refrigerators, and the food would be primarily prepared in the inn and brought over to this location and served. Thanks, Tyler. You can pull back. Thanks.
I don't know if you'd be, Mary Lou, Ken, this facility here is gonna be part of the inn and accessible to patrons, or is it gonna be just for the university?
As again, go ahead, Marilyn.
Chris, do you want to, it's going to be for the university. It's not going to be as part of the inn. It's not a, it's primarily for the basketball team and for students and other groups, but it's not for, it's not
a public
related. No, right.
No,
Exactly.
it won't, there won't be any outside events here. This is just for university use. So this is more of a serving area than it is akin to, we see it as akin to a backyard kitchen that you might see in a residential setting more than an offshoot of a restaurant.
I think the way they're hoping to use this, Tim, is during basketball games, home games and such, the basketball players go to the inn to stay overnight. And this is kind of a place for them to lounge that they can't really do in the inn. And
Got it.
to bring recruits and stuff like that. So it's really, that and other student groups, if they, have something that they want to go there and hang.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. And so really there's no kitchen on site of this property.
In the building, there is a kitchen, but it's a residential kitchen where, again, sometimes, Coach Wright might, if he comes back, we'll serve dinner or something like that. It's kind of a place where they'll eat dinner on game nights. So there is a residential kitchen inside.
Okay, we covered a lot here. The landscaping, did you say you're ready to present that tonight, or do you want to come back for landscaping?
No, go right ahead, Tyler. Go right ahead. This is also in your package. Okay?
Yeah, good.
This is in your package. Go ahead, Tyler. Can you explain it?
Oh, sure. So it's very, the landscaping work is very minimal, and what you're seeing here is mostly existing. There are some trees that need to be removed because of some of the proximity of the construction that's occurring right here. I think there's a tree, it's not showing in this plan because it's being removed really close to the on the inside of this building. And site lighting, I think we're replacing, we're keeping the existing locations for, we're not really touching the parking lot at all. That's remaining the same. It's just building lighting, just sort of code minimum, and just as I described before. Here's some. There is a schedule for the few trees that are being put in.
I saw that. I saw the chart on the drawing C2-1. It's not our purview, but I don't know how many trees you're removing, but I'm quite sure Villanova knows that the shade tree ordinance requires you all to come to them if you're taking out 6 or more trees, 5 inches, 6 inches in diameter. But I don't think you are. I mean, you're planting 6 trees. So, and I guess improving the shrubs and stuff, but there's no chart. It's a parking lot.
I think it looks good. I think it looks like a good.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I thought everything looks very good.
Good.
I was confused if we were improving, an outdoor kitchen or not. That's all.
Okay, so it looks like we've covered everything then. There's no need to come back.
I don't
have.
I think I'm good.
Tim, you're good?
I'm perfectly fine.
Okay, representatives from Villanova, you guys are good? Don't feel there's any need to come back? Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right. Any other comments, questions? Okay. Tim, you want to take this one?
In the matter of DRB 2022-35, I move to approve the application.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And on to the next one, which is DRB 2022-36, the application of Villanova University at 800 East Lancaster Avenue for a vestibule.
Looks good.
Again, this is Kevin Blackney for Blackney Hayes Architects, and for this project, John Townsend from Blackney Hayes is going to represent and discuss the vestibule at Mendel Hall. John, can you pull up the presentation?
Working on sharing it now. Can everybody see this?
And did you revise that rendering? Show the
I did, yeah. I have both open.
Okay, you were showing what we submitted. We just
I'm
kind of
showing what we
revised the rent. Yeah, okay, that's
correct.
fine. Keep going.
So this is what was submitted. This is Mendel Hall, and so what we didn't think we showed well enough in this initial submission, so we made a revision to this. This is a better site map of where this building is located. So this is the Mendel Science Center. This is the train station, train tracks that go through here, and then you have Spring Mill Road back in this area. And the location of our work is this little red rectangle here. There is a one-story jut out on the existing building that is this entrance right here. And what Villanova is looking to do is to add a vestibule to this space to help with containing the heat and/or air conditioning, depending on what time of year it is, from the students that utilize this lobby lounge space in here from the weather, right? So right now there's no vestibule. If the doors open, you know, all the wind and everything just comes blowing into this area, and it makes it uncomfortable for the students that are utilizing this space. So this would basically just assist that with creating kind of a little airlock. So the idea is to basically just take out this existing glass storefront that's here, add on a similar glass storefront vestibule area with a small little metal built-up roof on top of that, and then some metal panels infilling this area back here, where we would be pulling sprinklers and power and everything that we need to get out into this vestibule area. So lighting changes would be that these existing, there's an existing sconce here and here on the outside of the building, and we are taking those out, and there's lighting within the vestibule, as well as a small little 4-inch downlight outside of the doors here for lighting this entrance. Nothing else really changes in this area.
How far does that jet out, the vestibule?
It comes out about 7'9", roughly.
And it's 10 feet wide, as you can see.
10 feet wide, yeah.
Is there any need for a gutter system or drainage system?
There is, on the roof, there is a drain that pitches to the side, and then there's a gutter that comes down the outside. And once it gets down here, it will pitch away from the building and draw the water away from this area.
do you guys think, Jane, Tim? Questions?
I really with it on Mendel. My concern is the same type of arc is also right there at the Performance Arts Center that was just put on to Lancaster. I wouldn't want in the future to see this right on Lancaster. I don't think it would, but that would be my concern. But I understand the need for the energy efficiency. I think it's a great idea to try to conserve the energy there. And for the location of where it's going, I have no issue with that.
I don't either. It does look like an afterthought, but where it's going, the only people that are going to see it are Villanovans.
Right.
Right.
And we don't want them to be cold or hot.
The doors, that's a big energy loss every time they open. Whether
Oh,
it's
it is. Yeah. No, I know that. I'm only joking.
Okay. Any other comments?
Oh, so the reason, if you look down on it, that they're digging around on the front end, the side of the building, that's another project, right? Or is that just an old photo?
It's just an old photo. This was work that was done
Gotcha. Yeah, all right. That's
summers
what
ago.
That's what I
Google hasn't updated their map in a while.
Okay. Comments from Villanova? Anything else we should know about?
No, not from us.
You're good? Okay.
Yep.
We're good.
All right. Jane or Tim, you want to make a motion on this one?
For Villanova University, DRB 2022-36, a new vestibule added to the entrance to Mendel Science Hall. I move for approval.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right, thank you again.
Thank you.
And we've got one more to finish up our night, which is DRB 2022-37, the application of Villainy University at 2 Baldwin Lane, and for wall signage.
So again, it's Kevin Blackney with Blackney Hayes Architects, and Tyler Cooney will help with the presentation. Tyler, can you open up the presentation, please? So as a point of reference, I believe most people will know, but this building is currently located at the intersection of Spring Mill Road and Lancaster Avenue. Villanova, the old bank building. You've got it, Jane. I just want to make sure we don't have a drawing that has it in context, Jane. So I just want I just wanted to make sure.
How
But
old are we?
there you go. There you go. Sorry about that, Tyler. So the Villanova is rebranding the building as Riley Hall, and this signage that we are showing is to add that name to the building. And Tyler, if you can zoom in on where the location of the building of the signage is. This is the view from Spring Mill Road. And Tyler, just circle that again, please. Right there are the words Riley Hall. All the sizes of the signage meets the zoning code in terms of size, and the height above the ground meets the zoning code in terms of size. You might even go a little bit closer, Riley, so that everybody can see them. Just going in, but these are pin fit individual letters made out of bronze. Go in a little closer, Riley. I mean, Tyler. You can't get any closer. Okay, there you go. Thank you. So it's pretty simple, but it does the focus in that area of rebranding the building. And Tyler, can we show the other location where we're putting Riley Hall? And then the other location where we're putting Riley Hall is on the facade that looks right out onto Lancaster Avenue. And again, it's all pin fit lettering that meets the zoning code in terms of height, size, and height above the ground. And go ahead, Tyler, you can show that part of it. Go ahead. So this is the detail related to that signage, how it all meets code. And then also in your package, if you go to the bottom of the page, Tyler, it is that information related to zoning. Tyler has included a color chip, a Pantone color chip of what a brass looks like. I believe we all know what that is. And if Tyler, you could go back to the rendering, either option, please. we are showing that the building would be, the existing, there's existing stucco, there's kind of a tan color there. It's going to be colored this dark gray, painted this dark gray that we are showing in that it's all existing stucco. And then there is an existing metal panel that's on the building that's going to replace with a smaller, simpler metal panel. But just thought we'd mention that because it's a painting of the building. But the submission is for the signage, but the painting of the building is going to occur. I'm happy to any questions. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, okay, you've cleared up one thing because I thought you're talking about signs and yet the renderings we have a color change to the building. You're not
Right.
coming in.
No, not at this time. It is the sign, but it.
But you are intending to reclad or repaint the facade, including the bricks.
Well, Villanova is still looking. No, not the brick. The
No,
brick is not the.
Okay, that's just a Photoshop.
That's just a Photoshop. The brick is not being changed. The existing brick is remaining as is.
So Jean, if we need to, we will come back in to, we want to do the metal panel or the panels, but we really wanted to do paint first to see if we liked it. So we didn't think we had to go to DRB for that, but it sounds like we do have to go to DRB for that. So I don't know. That's the color we're looking at doing. We're going to match the window mullions, that color, so that, but the brick will stay the same.
Yeah, Kevin can make it clear, but I do think you do have to come in for facade color changes.
Okay.
We've had a few instances just in the past couple of weeks or months where, well, they started putting the facade up. And I think major change to large buildings have to come before this board, as I understand it.
That is correct.
Also, Kevin, I went by today and they've already put a sign up. I just thought that Villanova could put signs up labeling their buildings, but at the intersection of Baldwin and Sprawl and Lancaster, there's already a blue sign up, Riley Hall, a monument sign of sorts.
It's similar to the rest of our signs on campus. We needed to identify the building, and I guess if we need to come in for design review for that, we did not think so, since all the other buildings on Lancaster Avenue are the same sign. So we were just sticking with that. And on our campus, they're all the blue signs everywhere on our campus.
Oh, I know that. I've lived here my 70 years now, but I know Villanova labels its buildings, but I didn't know since we do see signs, I was asking Kevin, do they have to come in for a sign like that?
I'm not familiar with what they put out there. I'd have to take a look at it, but typically, a new sign would require DRB approval. If they're matching what's there, it should make it relatively easy. This board has expressed a desire to keep some consistency.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, see, they came in for signs here, so I'm thinking like, well, because it's an institution and they put signs up in front of their other buildings. I didn't know the complete protocol.
So, and this would go with a question for you, Kevin, I guess. When we came in for the trash enclosures, we came in for 2 because that's all we were going to build this summer. But next summer we're going to build 2 more in the same area. And I think that our project manager had asked, could we get approval for those 2? Because we're going to be duplicating, and it's similar with, I guess, these signs that are on Lancaster Avenue. They're very consistent. We came in for the Riley Hall on the building because that is definitely something different. That's not a standard that we do everywhere.
And you've come in for other signs on buildings.
We always come in for on the buildings, but those blue signs.
A freestanding sign, the code does allow for or regulate these types of things. So yes, they do need DRB approval. Okay. If you want to consider, when the next time you're in, bringing in a plan and showing where you're looking at putting trash enclosures or these signs, and just kind of, or maybe getting a sense of this board if they are okay as you were labeling it. I don't know of many more buildings along that frontage that you have that aren't signed at this point. They kind of came into acquisition and or use by the university relatively recently. So, it's all the other ones, I think, to my knowledge, have been that way since I've been here. So I don't know if they previously got DRB approval or if that was even a thing back when those signs went up, but they should be, through this board approval.
Hey, Kevin, do we usually require it for internal campus signs? I don't
Yeah.
recall that.
That's what I'm alluding to, is what Tim just said. I don't.
I don't think ever gone and said.
I know we've done, again, and from what I can recall, we've always done building signs internal to the campus. There are directory signs and things like that that aren't intended to be viewed, that the zoning code regulates as signs. I had to take a look at specifics. In most of the cases, I think signs have existed and they've replaced in kind. So it wouldn't necessarily require DRB approval if they're just swapping out like for like.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm just, I'm trying to be consistent in what I know about what applies where, because I saw the Riley Hall sign go up.
My only comment onto this application would be, aside from that, the coloration that Jane has addressed, is I guess the Villanova seal on the side. That is a future plan, and that's not before us today, correct?
Well, we should talk about that so we know for sure. But Tyler, can you bring up our reading of how the code would work for that? It's a seal, and this is really going to be up for Kevin to discuss. I don't think anybody can read that, Tyler. Can you blow it up, Tyler?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
I've got sanitary landfill.
Is this better?
Yeah, better, but they it defines a sign, and then any device, the visual communication is used for the purpose of bringing the subject to the attention of the public, but not including any flag, badge, or insignia of any government or governmental agency or any civil, charitable, religious, patriotic, fraternal, or similar organization. And our thinking is that the seal is a symbol of Villanova University and would not necessarily be considered a sign. So that is an interpretation that would really be up to Kevin, obviously, but so if that's an issue, yes, this application is only for the sign, but that's how we consider the seal. It's obviously the seal of Villanova University.
If you could go to the definition section in the sign chapter, 120 or 280, 118. And I think that as you would read that definition, and it talks about any writing, figure representation, logo, emblem, flag, lighting, banner, device, letter, word, or street clock and temperature announcement, yes, etc. It's going to require that to be a sign, meet the sign height requirements, so forth and so on.
In any case, it's not actually demarcated on the
So
actual.
then this application. Yeah, so this sign is then for the Riley Hall signage, that the application, we didn't.
I have no Riley sign, the Riley Hall sign.
Yep.
But not
So
the,
Kevin, a clarifying question then, how are differing definitions of the same word handled in the code?
I would defer to the I think you probably know what the answer is going to be. I would refer to the specific definition in the section that is regulating that versus a general definition in the general code.
Okay.
I thought that there was a provision somewhere in here that stated something to that effect. If I can find that at any point, I will email it to you, Chris, and give you that clarification.
Yep. Yeah, that would be helpful. And we'll obviously conform, and then come back for the blue sign.
Very good. All right, so we're really here tonight, I guess, to approve the Riley Hall sign. I think we're in agreement that it meets code and it looks good, and we will ask the representatives from Villanova to stop back for the blue ground sign, and we'll look further into the seal and make a determination on that. So just out of curiosity, Riley Hall, what is that going to be used for?
Can I share that, Chris? So Riley Hall is our advancement building, and Father Riley was the beginner. You know, he started advancement at Villanova, or he was one of the first vice presidents of advancement, and so we are naming the building after him.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's advancement?
It's
Fundraising and alumni
yeah.
relations.
I was trying to find a way.
It's the new name for the development office. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And
10 years
Father,
ago, it was called development. Now it's called advancement.
Father George Riley is still thankfully still with us. So it's great to be able to name this in his honor while he's still around to see it.
Yeah.
And he's got quite a story to tell too, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
he's got lots of
The
stories
best.
to tell. Yeah,
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yes.
very much so.
That's good. All right. Hey, before we make a motion, I'm going to ask Ian. Ian, you mentioned that there are some people at the administration building. I don't know if anybody's still there for public comment. If you could just take a peek.
We had a few attendees participating virtually.
Okay.
For public comment, currently we have none.
We have none. Okay, great. So could we make a motion for approval on the Villanova application?
In the matter of DRB 2020-37, I move to approve the application.
Okay, we hear a second? Jane?
Oh, I second it. Sorry.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Ian, Kevin, Lisa, thank you very much.
Okay.
Guess we'll see you next month. Is everybody